If you're looking for a pair of new wireless earbuds for your iPhone, then you're probably considering the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation. But are the AirPods really going to give you the best bang for your buck? Well, maybe, maybe not. And in fact, we just got these new pair of earbuds right here. This is the Anker Soundcore Liberty 5, and these earbuds are cheaper than the AirPods 4, but claim to offer more features for the price. So between these two, which is better? Well, by the end of this video, you're gonna find out, because I'm going to be putting these earbuds head to head to see which is best for you. To begin, let's talk about the design of each earbud and how comfortable they are. Now, originally, I was gonna give the round here to the Anker Liberty 5 because it feels good in the ears, it's comfortable to wear, and not only that, it actually uses ear tips. And the reason why ear tips are so important is because they help ensure a proper seal with your ears. And with a proper seal, you get better isolation performance and more consistent sound quality. And besides the ear tips, the Liberty 5 also has a more durable build. It has an IP55 water and dust resistance rating, which is slightly better compared to the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation's IP54 dust and water resistance rating. But even though these are technically more durable and the fact that they use ear tips, I have to give Apple some credit here, and I have to acknowledge the fact that some people just don't like sealed earbuds. Some people don't like ear tips, and that's where the AirPods 4 comes in. Sure, the one-size-fits-all approach may not work for everybody, but for people who really don't like ear tips, the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation feel good. In fact, I'm somebody who likes ear tips, but I can't deny the fact that these are pretty comfortable in my ears, and compared to the third generation AirPods, the AirPods 4 with ANC actually stay in my ears even if I've moved my head a lot, and yeah, just not having that suction feeling in your ear from the ear tips is nice. Now, because the design and comfort aspect really comes down to preference, I'm gonna give the round here to both earbuds. It's a tie. Now, what's not a tie is connection options, because the Liberty 5, I'm trying to open the case, the Liberty 5 takes the cake here. It's got way more connection options. It's got the latest Bluetooth 5.4, and you have multiple codecs to choose from. You can go bog standard SBC, there's also AAC, but then there's also LDAC for higher quality streaming over Bluetooth. And you've also got multipoint. Now, to Apple's credit, when you pair this with an iPhone or other Apple device, the connection experience is seamless. The one-touch pairing, the automatic device switching, all of that is great, but it does require you to use an Apple device, which is not awesome if you don't like Apple devices or you don't use Apple devices. If the AirPods 4 weren't so constricted to the Apple walled garden, I'd probably give this round a tie, but for now, the Liberty 5 takes the connection round. Now, when it comes to which provides better app features, which allows you to customize the earbuds more, it's again the Liberty 5, because when you go into the Soundcore app, you've got access to things like Dolby Audio, which is essentially their implementation for spatial audio. You've got an actual 9-band EQ to customize the sound to your liking. You've got a Hear ID hearing test. You've got a preference test. So many features, so many ways to customize the Liberty 5 to your specific listening preferences. Now, the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation also has some features like spatial audio and conversation awareness, stuff like that, but you have to be using an Apple device, which again is kind of annoying if you don't own one or you don't like them. And even if you have an iPhone, because this is not the Pro model, you don't get features like the hearing aid features or the hearing test. Whereas the Liberty 5, which works on both Android and iOS, yeah, you've got the hearing test and the preference test. Also, Apple, it's 2025. Still no EQ? Come on, man. So yes, winner here, Anker, by a long shot. Now, when it comes to battery life, both earbuds are actually pretty good on a single charge. They'll last more than a couple days worth of commutes. They'll last a short flight across North America. But the ultimate question is, which lasts longer? Well, in that case, Liberty 5 once again takes the crown here. In our standard battery test, the Liberty 5 lasted 7 hours and 8 minutes, whereas the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation lasted 6 hours and 21 minutes. But again, on a single charge, both of these provide more than enough battery for most people, and you'll always be able to top up by recharging them in the charging case. But ultimately, when it comes to which lasts longer, it is Liberty 5. So good job, Anker. Now here's where the turntables, nice. Now here's where the tables turn a little bit. When it comes to microphone quality, AirPods have been hailed for their excellent mic quality, and the same still holds true for the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation. It has a much better sounding mic than the Liberty 5. In our standardized microphone test, the AirPods 4 did a really good job in preserving vocal clarity even in the loudest of environments, including when you're walking down the street and taking a call. I did notice that voices do tend to cut out a little bit when you're trying to speak in windy environments, but the speech is still intelligible. Like, I'm still impressed with the clarity despite using these in a windy environment. However, in typical Apple fashion, the one big caveat is that in order to get that good microphone quality, you have to be using what? An iPhone. Yay! A lot of the AI processing just requires the iPhone for things like voice isolation and the background noise removal. So yeah, if you want the best, you have to use an iPhone. But how does the Liberty 5's microphone system compare? Well, I'm actually quite impressed with these. I did find that vocal clarity suffered a little bit. You sound a little muffled when you're in loud environments, such as outside while it's windy or just walking down the street in busy traffic. But the most important thing is that people will be able to understand what you're hearing. It may not sound the best, but it's good enough. Also, it doesn't matter which device you're using, iOS or Android, the microphone quality will be consistent using the Liberty 5 compared to the AirPods 4, which require the iPhone to sound their best. Now, if you want to hear a full suite of microphone samples for both of these earbuds, then make sure to check out our review articles on SoundGuys.com. But in the case of this round, I am going to give it a tie. AirPods 4 technically sound better, but they are constrained to the device ecosystem, whereas Liberty 5 doesn't sound as good as the AirPods 4, but will provide consistent mic performance regardless of the device you're using. And isn't that what Liberty is all about? Freedom? Or something? I don't know if we should keep that in. All right, now we're getting to the meat and potatoes. Active noise cancellation performance. Which pair of earbuds cancel out more noise? The answer is Anker. Anker cancels out more noise. By a lot. It's not even a contest. These cancel out more noise. Now, according to our lab tests, the Anker Soundcore Liberty 5 is able to reduce the loudness of outside noise by an average of 76%. Now, it's not the best we've tested. It's not as good as something like the Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra or AirPods Pro 2, but it is definitely enough to quiet your morning commute. In comparison, the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation was only able to reduce the loudness of outside noise by about 53%. Again, a lot of this has to do with the fact that it doesn't provide the best seal with your ears because it doesn't use ear tips. Granted, the ANC performance of the AirPods 4 with ANC is better than something like the Samsung Galaxy Buds 3, which also uses an unsealed design, but it is far from the performance that you'd get with any pair of noise canceling earbuds that actually have ear tips. I said it in the beginning and I will say it again. Having a good seal with your ears is important for isolation, which affects ANC, and then also sound quality. Speaking of which, because how your earbuds fit and how good your seal is can drastically affect your sound quality, it's no surprise that we found that most people will probably enjoy the sound of the Liberty 5 more so than the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation. But that's not to say that the sound of the Liberty 5 is perfect or the ideal for everybody right out of the box. Looking at our lab tests, we noticed that the Liberty 5 had some significant overemphasis in the sub-bass and treble regions. Now, this kind of frequency response can make kick drums and bass lines sound a little too loud to listen to over long periods, and it can also make sibilant sounds like s and sh or any cymbal sounds sound too shrill, especially if you're listening for hours on end. But the good news is that you can actually remedy a lot of this overemphasis by going into the Soundcore app and then just tinkering with the EQ. So even though the Liberty 5 may not sound exactly the way I want to out of the box, at least Anker gives me the option to go into the Soundcore app and adjust to my liking. Good job, Anker, you get a gold star. Meanwhile, again, because of the unsealed design of the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation, you don't really get much, if any, sub-bass. And that's especially annoying for me because I just got into hard techno and half the song is like sub-bass. Yeah, you know. And in our measurements, I also noticed there's some underemphasis starting at around 2 kilohertz, which makes sounds like pianos, vocals, strings, hi-hats sound like they're a little quieter than I'm used to, which then would cause me to turn up the volume, and then yeah, it just gets uncomfortable to listen to over long periods. And unfortunately, if you don't like the out-of-the-box sound, well, too bad, because Apple does not include an EQ tool for any of their AirPods. And again, it's 2025, and we're still having to talk about this. Come on, Apple, we can tune the buds. I promise it'll sound good to me. Now, looking at the multi-dimensional audio quality scores, our virtual panel of listeners rated the Liberty 5 higher than the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation across all the different criteria. And what these scores tell us is that basically, most people, probably including you, are likely to enjoy the sound of the Liberty 5 out of the box more so than the sound of the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation. So it goes without saying that this round's gotta go to the Anker Soundcore Liberty 5. And finally, price and value for money. The AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation retails for $179, whereas the Liberty 5, $129, $50 cheaper than the AirPods. And considering the much lower price of the Liberty 5, I gotta say it is really the better value buy, and I feel like most people should consider this first before the AirPods 4 with ANC, especially because the Liberty 5 has much better active noise canceling performance, much more extensive app features, and good sound quality for the price. However, if you are already knee-deep in Apple's ecosystem, you want all your devices to work seamlessly, including your earbuds, and you also don't like ear tips, you just want that unsealed design, then yeah, there is still some value to the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation. But mind you, it's not going to cancel the most noise, especially compared to this. But I guess something is better than nothing. So yeah, if you really want it, go get it. But for most people, I'm still going to recommend the Liberty 5. But just because the Liberty 5 is the new kid on the block doesn't necessarily mean it's the best for you. In fact, I'm still a big proponent of the Liberty 4 NC, an older pair of the Liberty earbuds, and you can see our full review for those earbuds right here. Right there. Bam. Yeah.